All right, here we go. We sell cows. There we are. 150. Now one. At one. Here in the minute. Two. Here in the minute. Three. Here in the minute. Four. Five. At $156. Here in the minute. Seven. Here in the minute. Eight. Here in the minute. Nine. Here. 160. At one. Here in the minute. Two. Here in the minute. Two. Here in the minute. Oh, come along. At 162. At a boy. Three. At 163. Here in the minute. Four. There in the minute. Three and four and five. At 165. There in the minute. Six. Here in the minute. Six. Here in the minute. Six. Here. At $166. Here in the minute. Six. Here in the minute. Five. Six. Seven. At 167. There in the minute. Half. Seven. At 167 and a half. Here in the minute. Seven and a half. And the minute. Seven and a half. And the minute. Seven and a half at $167 half here gonna go here in the minute $7 and a half $8 at 8 and a half here in the minute 8 and a half 9 here in the minute 9 and a half at 110 now half 70 at 170 71 here in the minute 1 here half then 170 and a half here in the minute you're out you got to be the half 170 and a half at 170 there half here in the minute half here in the minute half hold on at $170 here in the minute half here in the minute half trade them 170 is that 19 buyer 19 on 10, 19 on 10. Got some heifers coming into the ring. Good set of heifers, too, now, gentlemen. Look at that.
They're sitting right up here.
You bet. What a set of girls, guys, right here. They've done everything you've asked them to do. Now let's give them a payday. And 280. Now one. At 282. Here in the minute. Three. Here in the minute. Four. Five. There in the minute. $286. Do ya? At 286. Here in the minute. Five. There in the minute. 6. 7. 288. 9. Here in the minute. 291. 2. Here in the minute. 3. Here in the minute. 3 and 4. At 295. $6. Here in the minute. 7. 8. Here in the minute. 299. 300. 301. Here in the minute. 1, 2, 3. At 304. Here in the minute. 4. Here in the minute. 4. 5. At 306. Here in the minute 7 there in the minute 7 8 here 3 no you're not in 8 I'm going back here 8 308 9 at 309 here 9 here in the minute 9 10 at 310 here in the minute 9 here in the minute 10 here in the minute 310 I'm right here gang 309 310's all here in the minute 10 in the minute 10 here in the minute 310 I sold a cattle 309 buyer 430
Here's the colored heifer mates
14 head of them guys heifers. There you are, hand weighing 801, hand 295, $6 at 296 here in the minute, here in the minute 95, here in the minute 96 at 297 there in the minute, here in the minute 7 there in the minute 297 at 97 8 here in the minute 99 here in the minute $300 here in the minute 301 at 302 here in the minute 2 here in the minute 3 here in the minute 304 at 304 here in the minute 4 in the minute 5 there in the minute 305 $6 at 307 then here in the minute 7 8 here in the minute 309 at $310 deal there in the minute 910 at 309 here in the minute 10 heifer mates now 310 at 309 here in the minute 10's all here in the minute 10 in the minute 10 here in the minute 310 trade them straight up 309 buyer 38 on say that 85 they're going to weigh 561 pounds guys 561 pounds a girl 350 now 2.5 at 350's all 2.5 5 there in the minute 7.5 360 2.5 365 7.5 here in the minute 5 there in the minute 7.5 at 367.5 here light girls now 367.5 at 365 there in the minute 7.5 here in the minute 7.5 come to at 367.5 here at 7.5 and now 370 at 370 almost owned them at 370 there in the minute 70 there in the minute 370 367.5 here in the minute 70 there in the minute 370 there will 8 help you 368, 367 and a half, 8, now 9, at 368, 9 here, at $8 here, 9 here, then a minute, 9, at now 73, 71 here, and then a minute, 1, 2, at 372 over here, 2, 2 here, and then a minute, 1 here, and then a minute, 2, at 371 there, and then a minute, 2 here, and then a minute, 2 here, and then a minute, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 here, and then a minute, 372. Sell them your way, 371, sir. What a set of light cattle here. And they're weaned for you already. Not very often you're going to see cattle, especially in my country, wean this light. Boys, you got great opportunity here. There you are, 390, 2.5, at 392 and a half and 5, there in the minute 7.5 and 400, at $400 here in the minute 402 and a half, here in the minute 5, there in the minute 7.5, at 410 here in the minute 10, in the minute 10, 10, 10, at 410, 12 and a half, at 12 and a half, 15's up top, 17 and a half, here in the minute 420, at 422 and a half, there in the minute 5, there in the minute 7.5, at 425 there in the minute 7.5. Oh, come along. At 427 and a half here in the minute 5, 7.5. At 425 there in the minute 7.5. Anybody else? At 425 there in the minute 7.5. There in the minute 7.5, 7.5, 7.5. Here I go. Sold them 425, and that's 19. 39 on 4. 39 on 4. Thank you. All right, they're already checked open for you. They've done everything for them. Guys are going to weigh 884 pounds to you. You can do whatever you want with these cattle. Home raised, ready to go. 270, not 1. At 271, here in the minute 1, here in the minute 1, 2. At 3, here in the minute 3, 4, here in the minute 5, here in the minute 6, here in the minute 277. At 278, here in the minute 9, here in the minute $280 deal. At 281, here in the minute 2, here in the minute 2, here in the minute 3. At 283, 4, here in the minute 5, there in the minute $286. At 286, come on, 80 half 6. At 286 half, here in the minute half here, 287 then. At 287 and a half, here in the minute 7 and a half, $8. At 288 half here, 8 and a half here, 289. At 289 and a half, here in the minute half here, 90. At 290 there, 90 and a half. At 290 and a half, 1 here in the minute 1 half. At 291 and a half, now 2 there, 292 and a half. At 292 and a half and 3 there in the minute 3 and 3 and a half. At 3 and a half, 4 and 4 and a half, 5. 295 there in the minute 5 and a half, 95 and a half, $6. 296 and a half here in the minute 6 and a half, here in the minute 95, 6 and a half. At 296, 6 and a half here in the minute 6 here in the minute half here, 96 and a half. I go 296 here in the minute 6 here in the minute half. Trade them, 296 right there. We're going to sell a set of heifers now that weigh 1,029 pounds, guys, and a good set of girls. You tell me. 260, now 1. At 260, there in the minute 1, here in the minute 1 and a 1. At 260, there 1, 2. At 261, there in the minute 2, here in the minute 1 and 2 here. Come along, man. At 261, there in the minute 2, here in the minute 2 and 2 and 2. Biggest sisters all. 262, here in the minute 1, here in the minute 2, here in the minute 2, here in the minute 1 and 2. I'm up here at 1. You got to be 2, 3. Now come back. 4. At 264, 5, there in the minute 5, there in the minute 6 here. At 267, do you there in the minute 7 and 8, here in the minute 8, now 9. At 269, 70, there in the minute 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 70, there. Go again. At 270, there, 69 bids. Hey, one more try. At 270, there, 69, here in the minute 70, there in the minute $270. I go. At 270, here in the minute 69 and 70, I sold them. 269, buyer 425 on 9. They've done an excellent job with them, and away we go. 335, 7 and a half. At 337 and a half and 40, 2 and a half, 5 there. 345, 7 and a half. Here in the minute 50 there in the minute 2 and a half, 5. 355 there, 7 and a half. Here in the minute $360 here. And now 60 here in the minute 8, 9. 389 now 60 here in the minute 1 there in the minute 2. 363 here in the minute 3 and 4 here. 64, 5. 365 there in the minute 4 here in the minute 5 and the minute 5. See 365, 6. Attaboy. 366, 7 there in the minute 7 and 8 here in the 8, 9. 369, 70 there in the minute 71 here in the minute 2. And then 1, 2 at 71, 2, 3. Conditional carry him away. 372, 371 there in the minute 2 and 2, and here in the minute 1 and 2, 1 and 2 here in the minute. Get on 2. Trade him. 371 right up here. Beautiful set of heifers. They've done everything you've asked them to. Here we go. At 280, now 1. At 1, here in the minute 2, here in the minute 3, here in the minute 284. At 4, 5, there in the minute 6, here in the minute 287, there in the minute 7 and 8. At 289, here in the minute 290, there in the minute 1, here in the minute 1 and 2. At 293, here in the minute 4, there in the minute 95. 296, here in the minute 297, 298, 300. At 301, here 2, 3, here in the minute 3, here 4. 305, there in the minute 6, here in the minute 307, 8. At 308, 309, 309, 309, 10. At 300, one more try. 310, both of you. 309, here in the minute 10, here in the minute 10. Will half help you? 10, half. And now 10, 11. 310, 11, you're both out. 11, you're here. Now 12. At 12, there, 13, 313, 14. At 315, say here to half. 15, 315, here in the minute, here, 15. 14 and a half, 15, here in the minute, here in the minute, 15. I got 14 and a half on the money. 15. At $315, here in the minute, here I get on. 15, 15, here I go. 315, last call. Trade them. 314, and that's buyer 38. On 82. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your good consignment. Guys, what just a rip set of livestock in the ring. 732 pounds a girl, guys. Here we go. 320, now 1. At 321, here in the minute 1 and 1, here in the minute 321. At 320 all, here in the minute 1, 2, here in the minute 2, here in the minute 2 and 3. 334, here in the minute 5, there in the minute 6 and 7. 337, it's your turn. 336 here in the minute. Is that a yes, sir? I couldn't tell. 337 here in the minute 7 here. 6, 7. At 336 here in the minute 7 there. 8. At 338, your turn. 338 here. 8 here now. 338. 337 here in the minute 8, here in the minute 8. Come on, men. 338 338 here in the minute 7 and 8 here in the minute 300 and half up top, and now 338 at 338. You didn't get him 8.5 at 8.5 here in the minute 339 at 339 here 9 here done gun 75 9 at 339 quarter here in the minute 9 1/4 at 9 quarter here in the minute 339. Give a quarters all here in the minute 9 1/4 at 339 here in the minute quarters all here in the minute quarter there 9 quarter 339 right up top. They're going to weigh, we're going to show you 776 pounds of good girl. $295, $6 at 7 there in the minute, 298 here in the minute, 299 at 2 now, $300 here in the minute, 301, 2, 3 at 303, 4 here in the minute, 5 there in the minute, 5 back to you, 306 in the middle here in the minute, 307, 7, 8 at 308, 9 here in the minute, 310 at 310, come with me now, 11 here in the minute, 312 at $313 now, $14 here in the minute, 315 at $315, here we are now, 15, 16, attaboy at 316 half, 16 half, 316 half here, 17 half, 317 and a half here in the minute half, 18, 318 here in the minute, there you get 18, 317 and a half, $18 where here in the minute, 75 and now 18 at 318, you almost owned them, now quarter, now half, 18 and a half here in the minute half, 75, 318, 75, 19 at $319 here in the minute here, 19, now do we really need to go there, 19 quarter, 319 quarter, now quarters all, he did it to you at 319 and a quarters all here in the minute, 19 here in the minute, 19 and a quarter here in the 19 and a quarter. Trade them, 319. Thank you, sir. All right, there's 90 head of these steers in the ring, guys. They're going to weigh 523. They're all black-hided. They're all green. They all got their working clothes on. Let's go, Brian. 380, now 2.5 at 385 there in the minute 7.5 here in the minute 390, 2.5 at 395, 7.5 here in the minute $400 here now 2.5 at 405 there in the minute 7.5, 410, 12.5 at 410, 11 I'll do at 410, 11 there, 11, 12 at 412 there in the minute 11, 12's here, your turn at 412, come to me now, 12 here in the minute 12, new money 13 at 414, 15 here in the minute 16 here at 416, 17 here at 18 at 418, sir, it's your turn at 418 $18 here, 19 at 419, 20 then here in the minute 20 there in the minute 20, half 20 at 420, 20 your turn at 20 new money now half at 420 and half 21 there half here. I got 3 players now, 3.5 here in the minute 4 half here in the minute 24 and a half to you at 25 half here in the minute 5.5 6 here at 426 here in the minute 6 here in the minute $6. You're both out, gentlemen. So there he comes again, 6.5, 7 half at 7.5 and you're both out here. 27 and a half 8 at 128 and a half 428 and a half 9 429 here in the minute 9 in the minute 9 429 30 at 430 now 1 here in the minute 431 31 to you, gentlemen, and now 2 432 31 32 at 431 2 here in the minute 3 434 at 435 I see him, and now 436 and 7 there in the minute 438 at 438 8 here half 8 again at 438 and a half 8 and a half here in the minute 8 and a half 9 at 409 now here now 450 and a half here in the minute 1 there at 451 to you, sir, 451 451 here in the minute 50 there 1 here in the minute 1 here 51 now 1.5 and now 51 and a half 2 452 there in the minute 2 here in the minute 2 452's all here in the minute 2 here in the minute 2 now 2.5 and now 53 and now 453. What are we going to do at 453? There ain't going to be another set like him today. 453 here in the minute 3 here in the minute 3. I tell you, want to be 3 here in the minute 3 and 3 and 3. Trade him 452 and a half, and I'm sorry, 49 on 5. Thank you, sir. 425, now 30 at 425 and a minute 30 there, 30 here in the minute 435 at 440 there in the minute 445 there in the minute 445 at 440's all here in the minute 5 there in the minute 445. My money's in the ring now. 445, 442 and a half will go. 442 and a half here in the minute 442 and a half. Look at the way up guide. Look at the cattle. I got 2.5, 445, 7.5 internet. You're out. 447 and a half here in the minute 5, 7.5 here in the minute 5, 7.5. The ring's in. 5, 7.5 here in the minute 447 and a half here in the minute 7.5 and now $450. One more time, sir. 452 and a half. Internet's in. 452 and a half here in the minute 5. 455 there in the minute 5 there in the minute 5 there in the minute 5. Internet's out. 455. 455. I can't run over you, John. I can't run over anybody. 455 there in the minute 2 and a half and 5's all. At 455 there in the minute 2 and a half and 5 there in the minute 455. I have 455's all here in the minute 455. I have 452 and a half. You get him, John. 305, $6 at 305 there in the minute here in the minute 306 7 at 307 here in the minute here in the minute 307 8 you got to be 7 8 at 308 9 here in the minute 310 here 11 here in the minute 312 here in the minute 313 14 at 315 $16 here in the minute 316 come on Grant at 16 new money 17 at $318 $19 here in the minute bid 19 20 at 320 all here in the minute 1 here in the minute 1 at 22 here in the minute 3 here in the minute 3 here in the minute 23 at 3 and a half 3 now 323 and a half at 23 and a half and 4 24 and a half at 24 and a half here 325 at 325 there in the minute 25 come to me 325 here in the minute 5 there in the minute 324 and a half 325 where at 325 going to the bank here in the minute 25 and the minute 25 I sold them 324 and a half. All right, they're 122 head. They weigh 943. Did you say 295, my friend? Now 6. At 296 here in the minute 5, $6, 7. 297, 8 here in the minute 9 here in the minute 299. Now 3. At 301 here in the minute 1 here in the minute 2 here in the minute 302. 3. At 304 there in the minute 4 in the minute 5 there in the minute $306 here in the minute 307. 8. 308 here 8 here in the minute 7 and 8. Go on. At 308 here in the minute 8 here and then I got 7 there. 8 where? 8 that boy. Now 9. 309 and you did not get in. Sir, 9, 10, 310, you're both out. 10, 11, 311, 12, there in the minute 12 at you. Now 13, 313, 14, here in the minute, 315, 315, you're both out, gentlemen. $315 here. I'll be back to you. $315 here in the minute, half, 15, at $315 here in the minute, 15, half, 315 and a half, 15 and a half. My money's in up top. 315, half, here in the minute, here in the minute, half, Chase, you're out. 315 and a half, here in the minute, half, in the minute, half, here, 16, at 316, 75, 16, at 16, here in the minute, 16, here in the minute, 16. Tell Dad, go again. 16, here in the minute, 316, 316, here in the minute, $16, here in the minute, 16. I'm going, 316. 315.75, sir. You're the winner up top. That number again is 79 on 69. 79 on 69. They're going to weigh 900 pounds right in front of you guys. There you are. 310, 12 and a half. At 310, here in the minute, 12 and a half. Here now, you've been 12 and a half. At 310, 11. At 310, 11's all here in the minute, 10, here in 11. There in the minute, 310, 11. At 311, here in the minute, 10, here 11. There in the minute, 311. At 310, here in the minute, 11. There, $311. Do you? At 310's all 11. Here in the minute, 311. Hey, don't let me down now. I'm just about out of drafts. 310, 311, 311, 12. At 311, here in the minute, 12. Here 11 and 12. At 311, here in the minute 12 there in the minute 12 and go at $311 here 12's all here in the minute 12 there 12 at 312 here 11 and 12 there in the minute 312 all in all done at they are a good set of steers guys. We've been selling them all day long. Somebody give 312 at 311 12 attaboy 313 at 313 14 at $315 here in the minute here 16 at 316 17 here in the minute 17 at 317 here in the minute 17 in the minute 17 18 at 318 one more try at 318 here in the minute 17 here $18 where here in the minute they're going to get 318 I have sold them to you my friend at 317 and that's 79 on 8 79 on 8 well ladies and gentlemen that's my last draft. Ray Winter offered me a job in 1996 not knowing I own my own market. Ray, I hope I did a good enough job to warrant that you asked me to work for you. Mark and Brian and the Winter family, God bless you all and God bless Kansas.